So welcome to Arabia. We will have Miguel as Huns in red and Chinese for Dogao in yellow. Slam as blue Saracens, and we're gonna have DauT as green Franks in this one. So Saracens is a little bit of an awkward choice over here to start with for Gamer Legion. Immediately comes in with the market for our blue player. And here's the deal. Saracens will be great getting through the walls, but they won't give you any other combat-related bonuses to your archers. So Chinese that have a much stronger economy that can potentially mass crossbows a little bit easier should be able to beat the Saracens here if it just comes down to archer numbers. So I'm not really a big fan of the Saracen pick here. It only works if you can somehow carve out an archer number advantage, but in open field battles, if the archer numbers are even, then Chinese will be much better than Saracens are. So, bows are up for Miguel on the left side. We will have scouts already coming in, and speaking of scouts coming in, that's a villager dead from DauT over here. We will have 2 more scouts on the way for Miguel. He's got Huns, so he's got the faster working stables. Helps quite a bit when it comes to getting those scouts out. That's why he already has 4 out, and there is only 3 for DauT. DauT slowly rolling his base up over here, and should be able to contain these scouts with his own. Whereas on the other side, walls are coming up for Dogao, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him going for a pretty early castle age, something that he usually loves to do in 2v2 settings, especially in RM. So, we will have Slam with double ranges right now, double ranges as well for Dogao. Dogao is also sending forward a couple of archers without spearman escort, so they gotta be careful, but they could easily double team scout, or double team DauT over here. That's what I wanted to highlight. So, archers moving in here. If they pick off 1 or 2 spearmen over here, then the scouts will have a pretty easy time killing 1 or 2 villagers here from DauT, and when the cavalry player gets set back, that means that his knight numbers will be weaker, as these walls are unfinished for Miguel, so DauT very much has the possibility of killing vills here as well. What is Miguel doing? Why are these walls unfinished? What is happening here for Miguel? Oh my goodness, that's a disaster. He's very lucky that he's got a spearman around, but, well, at least, behind this one, DauT is also losing villagers. That's the positive for the Brazilians. 1 villager there, 1 villager there. So DauT ends up losing 2 in exchange. DauT picks off a villager here from Miguel. Miguel would have a much bigger advantage if he didn't mess up these walls here, because he messed it up big time. As now DauT's berries are off. That definitely hurts the Frankish economy, that you're off from the berries as well. So I think Miguel is still in a much better spot. Miguel has lost 1 villager, DauT has lost 5, so indeed Miguel is in a way better spot, but this advantage could be bigger, and this is what I'm referring to. Things like these should not happen here. Another villager goes down here for Miguel for basically little investment from DauT. Those 2 scouts just yoing the villager here, and the Brazilians could have a much bigger lead if it wasn't for these disasters inside the base of Miguel. Defensive tower coming in here, DauT trying to pick off another villager, as the first 2 castle age will be slammed by a massive margin, using that Saracen market quite heavily to go up. He is playing 1 TC, selling his stone in the process. So, for Dogao, he's playing double ranges for now. He definitely reinforced his walls. Look at this. He's just scared that Saracen archers gets through his walls, so just added double layers everywhere of houses. This one is wide open though, so I'm not sure if that actually helps. Archers from Slam now moving towards the base of Miguel. Miguel's got a defensive tower, and he has to make another defensive tower here on his wood line. I wonder if there's an overchop here or not. Looks like there is no overchop, as we will have archers. Even numbers for Dogao and Slam here. But as I said, once we get to the castle age power spike of Saracens, Chinese will just be way better in many ways. Getting those upgrades in will be much easier for the Chinese. A 3rd range comes in for him. 3rd range already in for Slam as well, as it looks like GL wants to open up this part of Miguel's walls, and Miguel is very heavily set back here. Look at this. DauT is already on the way to castle age despite losing a bunch of villagers in feudal. Miguel is not, so Miguel is actually getting more delayed than DauT was. and now DauT is going to be fully void. Apparently chat is saying that DauT bought food and then sold food, or the other way around. Just DauT things. Well, looks like Miguel is playing the tower defense game over here. That's 4 towers now, but it's very expensive to buy 4 towers for yourself. You only have to buy 3, but still, 4 towers is a big investment here for Miguel. And that's just going to mean that his castle age is going to be very bad. He even has to go fletching. Fletching here for the cavalry player. I just feel like Miguel's defense here at the beginning was so underwhelming. And despite the fact that DauT lost more villagers, it is Miguel who is set back quite a bit. He's later to castle age, and he has to get upgrades that he normally wouldn't get with cavalry players, like fletching, for example. DauT coming in here with multiple drops of crossbows, though. Slam only has a handful of crossbows back at home to defend. No ballistics on either side, but Slam is already researching that. Look at DauT. He's gonna come from the back of the wood line, though, and tear apart the wood eco of Slam over here. Nice micro so far from Slam, and he has an easier time reinforcing too. Ballistics is almost in for him. DauT goes for a +2 defense, but when Ballistics kicks in, Slam is going to just massacre those crossbows. And DauT will try to hit the back of this wood line, but he's lucky if he can pick off 1 or 2 wills here. That Ballistics is very late, and now the walls of Miguel are open, and he's still not up to castle age, just going for scale boarding. He's going to play triple stable knights here, triple stable as well for DauT. At least with Hans you can catch up, because you're gonna have the faster working stables. But once again, I think this is just snowballing out of control here for Miguel. Because he was set back, now he's set back in knight numbers. And because he doesn't have the knights, he's going to start losing eco. Loses eco, and he's going to fall behind even more so in knight numbers, and it just spirals out of control. DauT already has +1 attack, +2 defense. Miguel only +1 defense over here. The wood price is already all the way down to 36 gold per 100 wood, because Slam was using the market really heavily, and Miguel now is getting his eco torn apart, loses 13 villagers. DauT doesn't even care about losing the knights. He's just going to keep raiding, and Miguel's eco has fallen apart. He's at 33 villagers, and he's got 23 idols. Miguel is dead here. I guess Miguel's gonna have to step his game up in the next one if they want to have any chance in this, because, well, this one was underwhelming, let's just say that. Well, let's just give him the benefit of doubt and say that he wasn't really appropriately warmed up, but DauT just steamrolled Miguel here. So, despite the fact that DauT lost 5 villagers in feudal, he was able to come back, and now he has killed 18 villagers, and he just keeps doing that. Looking at the crossbow numbers, it's also better for Slam over here. Tumbling on the way for Slam, not something that DauT has right now. He's also just now researching tumbling over here. But look at this. This is what I was talking about. Miguel can't even access gold. This game is over. I'm trying to be positive and say there's a way back, but there is no way back here. Miguel is at 30 villagers. He doesn't have reliable wood income. He doesn't have any consistent gold income. Half of his farms are idle. And he's currently at 1 spearman and 1 scout. Miguel taps out. And Gamer Legion B takes a very easy game number 1 over here. Almost too easy, to be honest. Because I think DauT and Slam were pretty much even over here, but DauT just outplayed Miguel by just a mile. And that actually was followed, or at least that's something that DauT did after losing a bunch of villagers in feudal. It very much seemed like DauT will be set back so heavily that Miguel just needs to snowball the game with knights, but then DauT came in and he really used those scouts well, picked off a couple of villagers, and then was able to just buy himself up to castle age, go for the knights, and then pick apart the eco of Miguel. DauT and Slam take a pretty convincing game number 1 victory over here. Franks and Saracens, somewhat unconventional Saracen pick, but Franks is the meta civilization pick here. Chinese Hans is a nice combination, although now Hans missing could hurt for the Brazilians, because Hans could be a very good civilization on other maps as well, especially if we have Cape of Storms. We'll check if we have Cape of Storms available here. We do have Cape of Storms, so not only did Heresy lose Hans here, they lost arguably the best civilization for Cape of Storms here. I'm unsure if this was the good idea. I think Khmer probably would have been a better choice here. and just go for Huns on Cape of Storms. Because now it's probably going to be Indians for Cape of Storms. Not necessarily a fan of that for Miguel Dogao. It could work out, but I think Huns would have been a much, much better choice. Let's take a look at game number 2 over here in the quarterfinals, the last quarterfinals of Empire Wars Duo 2. And we're going to get our answer on the Civ picks for Cape of Storms. We're going into this very open map here. Dogao is on the right side as he's going to play yellow because he did that in the previous game, so for consistency reasons, Dogao is going to play yellow flank as Incas, and Miguel is playing Mongols as red. Okay, so that's why they used Huns in the previous game, because they now play Mongols, and Mongols can actually get a very nice boost to their early eco with the Hunt over here, with the Elephant, and we have seen Mongols even being used as a civilization that mills the teammates Hunt as well. I'm not sure what team did that, but this actually is something that gives you a very, very nice chance to have an insane early food income and grab foraging or scale barding quite early. We'll have Mayans for Slam in blue flank, which should be superior to Incas in every possible way. And DauT Teutons in green, I'm not really a fan of that, to be honest, for numerous reasons. First off, you don't even have light cav, which means that if you get up to Castle Age, you still have leftover 15 scouts. You can't upgrade them to light cav. That's, I think, a problem. Teutons have a great farming eco though, and it's pretty easy to establish, so it's something that could help immensely, but I actually like the Mongol pocket a lot better as the scout civilization than I do with the Teutons. Double range archers coming from both flank players for the time being, as second stable immediately comes in for Miguel. This is what I was talking about, that insane food income with Mongols, and this is one of the first time that we're not seeing any players dock here. So everybody's just gonna go full feudal aggression on land. This is interesting, and I think it's a mistake from the players not docking. Like, usually it's the pockets who go for a dock, because even 1 or 2 fishing ships completely untouched can give you a massive food boost. Scale barding on the way for Miguel, and this is the power spike you're getting from Mongols here early on. Insane food income allows you to get better upgrades, and those better upgrades allow you to start pushing the opponent's base. As defense upgrade is on the way for Dogao, he's gonna have both upgrades. No defense upgrade for Slam just yet. DauT, on the other hand, is going for Bloodlines. It's a fast Bloodlines over here for him, something that Miguel would not have, and Bloodlines is probably better than +1 defense when it comes to Scout versus Scout Wars. So let's see the fight. Looks like they will commit to this, and DauT doesn't have any upgrades right now. This is the perfect timing for the Brazilians. They will take down DauT scouts just before the Bloodlines upgrade, and they also take a fight against archers that do not have the armor. So this was the perfect fight here for the Brazilians. Now Bloodlines on the way for Miguel as well. DauT only has 2 scouts here, and Slam already is forced to make a defensive tower. The archers pushing forward relentlessly, and soon they can start threatening the villagers. This map can snowball really fast, and I love how Dogao is retreating here. He's not overcommitting, or at least not for the moment, because he knows exactly that losing all those archers could be a disaster. That's 4 villagers down for Slam. I think a 5th one will also go down. Try to trap those archers, but that was a failure. Now Bloodlines is in for both Scouts players, as soon Teutons will take over economically because they will have the farming eco. But one of the things that Gamer Legion is not doing, and something that the Brazilians did, was take the Hunt. They actually could have taken the Hunt, they didn't do that, and that's an advantage here for the Brazil team. We will see if Miguel is the one that takes the Hunt here. I would love to see that, but it looks like Dogao is heading there. I would love to see just the Mongol player taking the Hunt. Double the archers right now for Dogao, and he's going to click up to the Castle Age about the same time as Slam does. Incas over Mayans. I mean, Mayans will have the better archer play, but currently the numbers are much better for Dogao, so that helps immensely. It looks like Dogao is indeed going for a Hunt, not just the lumberjacking in the middle. Castle Age on the way for both archer players. The cavalry players are both pretty far out. Numbers are slightly better for DauT. He's got +1 defense Bloodlines. Full upgrades on the other side for Miguel. And Miguel is now going for fishing eco. So now they possess a 9 villagers lead, and this is what I was referring to. Just a couple of fishing ships here, completely untouched. Gives you an enormous boost to your economy. 3 stables production now for DauT, though. There is only 2 for Miguel up until now. Now it's a third one. So triple stable scouts for both sides. This is the one where DauT needs to retreat, I believe. Just needs to preserve his archer numbers. Miguel's scout numbers are not as good as the ones from DauT, but here come the quick walls from DauT, trying to limit the movement of those scouts, and he's actually done masterfully. That's actually a very nice defense over there, just to keep track of those scouts. DauT will try to run in, but with this many scouts chasing for Miguel, they just have to trade it. If the 2 scouts players trade here, that benefits the Brazilians, as DauT runs into the scouts here, because the archer numbers are much better for DauT. So if the scouts players just trade each other here, and then you got the archer players having double the archers for DauT, that's a great scenario for the Brazilians, and DauT indeed is losing all his scouts. He doesn't have forging either, so not only he's getting outnumbered now in terms of scouts, he is also lacking the attack upgrade. Crossbowman now coming in for DauT. He is on 4 ranges, and we will have DauT with University here for fast ballistics. Market coming in for Miguel. I wonder if he wants to sell his stone to go up. That could be an idea, because beating the opponent to Castle Age could be a massive power spike now that you have the Crossbowman. Crossbowman is in as well for Slam, and he wants to loop all the way around. But these walls are finished here. I don't think that Slam and DauT can break in, although there is a weak spot here on that palisade. Still, scouts now coming in, and they're heading straight towards DauT. I like that. DauT needs to use his mobility, and he can't use it if he's forced to defend against the Crossbowman. They know that they also damage Slam here, which means that the best thing they can do is head towards DauT. Oh boy, DauT is in though. Miguel has to retreat and take this fight here. Nice quick walls to save the day, or at least limit the damage, but I think the crossbows can still march in. And it looks like both pocket players will suffer from a lot of pressure from the Crossbowman. Castle Age on the way for Miguel, but he can't stop making scouts. It would be a mistake to stop making scouts right now, because he could easily get overrun by DauT. DauT forced to make a defensive tower, and he's already losing villagers. A lot of his farming eco is exposed. I think that there is bigger damage done on DauT right now, but now DauT is forced to retreat. He's gonna have to scramble for defense against those crossbows. Still, DauT's food eco is entirely idle, whereas for DauT, he needs to run with his lumberjacks, loses a couple of vills, but that's pretty much it. Whereas for DauT, he's gonna be set back in scout numbers and Castle Age so badly. Look at this. 7 on food. DauT is not gonna get to Castle Age, neither will he get some more scouts out. So unless these crossbows do a lot of damage, and they actually do quite a bit, this is really rough for Gamer Legion. Tower goes down over here, and I feel like GL is losing more here than the Brazilians. Miguel and DauT did lose some, especially DauT had a pretty big punch in his face from those crossbows. That also means that now he's outnumbered in crossbow numbers, and hold on for a moment, because DauT's eco is getting torn apart here. DauT is down to 46 villagers and never gonna get to Castle Age at this pace. At this point, it's all about Miguel getting that +2 defense and light cabin, and he needs to clean up these crossbows. If that happens, I think that GL is still on the back foot. 18 villagers lead for the Brazilians, and you also have Castle Age in for both of them. DauT killed 16 villagers, lost 6, so we can say that that was still an okay situation. And now, Miguel might need to run away from his gold mine for a moment, but he just needs 45 seconds until he gets these upgrades, then he's gonna clean this up. And DauT is going to face a lot of crossbows that he has no tools to deal with, as the scouts actually hit this wood line a little bit prematurely. They could have waited a little longer, and now Slam tries to find a little choke point here to take this fight. It's actually a very, very nice choke point, something that's gonna make life really hard for Miguel's light cav over there. But now, some more light cav, they should intercept this group of crossbows, and with the crossbow support of DauT, they can clean this up. Crossbows from DauT looping over, and at the end of the day, DauT finds a way up to Castle Age, but they are behind by 14 villagers, and I feel like these crossbows will go down at a quite rapid manner, and it's going to be tough for Slam to replenish those now. So all those crossbows are dead, and the same is applicable of these guys. Miguel needs to keep like 2 light cav here to chase, but the rest of the stuff he needs to send forward. DauT still has a bunch of crossbows here, potentially able to harass DauT's base. Luckily for DauT, he's got 2 10 towers, so he can fit 10 villagers inside, something that's very helpful, and his tower positioning is also very nice. One on the gold, one on the wood line. So GL.TheViper's defense here is actually pretty nice. Right now, the crossbow numbers are slightly favoring GL.DauT, though. Looking at the upgrades, ballistics is in for both players. There is, however, +2 defense for GL.DauT, not even a single defense upgrade for Slam. And now those light caps will come in from the north, once again, for a raid. There is also Fire Galley out from Miguel, but it's not really bumping into the fishing geek of GL.DauT just yet. Still, at this point, Gamer Legion is behind by 24 villagers. And, I mean, GL.DauT has 3 stables here, but this is what I was talking about. He can't really just make scouts now while he's going up because he can't have the light cav upgrade. So he needs to wait until he gets to Castle Age to make knights, but that leaves him exposed to leftover light cavs raiding him. And now, look at the middle. Light cav with +2 defense coming in, crossbowman as well, and I think Slam's army here is pretty much gonna get chased down. Beautiful micro, by the way. He keeps the distance between his own crossbows and the opponent's crossbows, but that won't change the fact that without +2 defense, outnumbered like this one, he's going to lose most of those crossbows. And now GL.DauT is going to start making knights. He's got the resources to pump them out like crazy, and he's gonna have the extra melee armor, but he doesn't have husbandry, or he doesn't have husbandry available, which means that his cavalry is slower and they just won't be able to catch up to crossbows that are being microed. Beautiful position here by GL.DauT to deny that wood line as well. And with that, Heresy uses Mongols to perfection here. Mongols, as I said, is probably the better pocket over Teutons, and it shows. So despite the fact that Slam had the better flank civilization, Mayans over Incas, it was really the Mongols that decided this. And look at Miguel's transition. Miguel's previous game was absolutely disastrous. This game was amazing from Miguel. He has multiple docks worth of booming. Even if they don't win this fight here, Miguel is at 71 villagers. A brutal villager count here for Miguel. He transitioned from an aggressive feudal age into a very nice castle age time, get the light cav. There were some scary moments when GL.DauT and Slam broke into their bases, and it seemed like GL.DauT and Slam would just be able to kill so many vills that the game evens out. But that didn't end up being the case, so Miguel and GL.DauT retaliate on their own home maps. And now we'll go to the first home map of a Gamer Legion over here. So let's see what the first home map is for GL. They could go for Hidden Treasures or Rock Slide. Hidden Treasures is a map that only Gamer Legion picks, pretty much. Gamer Legion A, Gamer Legion B, doesn't matter, but they love to play that map. It's a slow-paced, macro-focused map, something that really favors that boomer style of GL.DauT and Slam. They just want to build up their eco. So, really, Hidden Treasures, I think, favors GL.DauT and Slam, even without looking at their civilizations. They do have Slavs and Spanish, I believe, although that's a weird combination of civs. Might be Spanish-Vietnamese, to be honest. Mongols are gone now for Miguel and GL.DauT, though, so they can't use Mongols on Hidden Treasure, something that could have been a nice civilization. In exchange, I think it has to be Italians. Italians would be a very nice civilization here, because late game the Genoese crossbows would pretty much render any kind of cavalry play inoperable. There's an Aztecs pick for Heresy that I'm not sure what to make out of. That could be the case for Rock Slide, like going for full eagles for Heresy. Burgundians is an option for Hidden Treasures here for them. We will see. Let's jump into game number 3. We're going to Hidden Treasures, as we are gonna have GL.DauT and Slam on the right side, as Spanish in blue and Vietnamese in green. So they go for the standard archer plus cavalry lineup. Spanish is an amazing civ for this map, but Vietnamese is a bit of an type. It's not a bad civ, but it's not something that's super duper amazing by any means. It's going to be great with Rattan archers in the long run, but that takes forever to get there. GL.DauT is making an archer range, so it looks like they want to go aggressive here. Probably try to push through the middle. That's going to be hard to wall off for the Gamer Legion. Miguel is playing Khmer, another boomer civilization, but I kind of feel like I like Vietnamese-Spanish combination better than Khmer and Italians. Italians could be dangerous with their Genoese crossbows, but Khmer in exchange don't have Paladin. Vietnamese, I feel like Paladin Rattan Archer is a superior combination compared to Genoese Crossbowman Cavalier. Because Rattans can outrange the Genoese crossbows. It's a tricky one, and oh boy, we have seen this before. Looks like Gamer Legion teams have been practicing together, because here is the Leopard Rush. These are actually Jaguars. 5 Jaguars tailing that Spearman over there as he's running towards the gold mine of DauT. This shouldn't do that much of a damage, but A, it's good for the memes. B, it's actually going to be annoying for DauT, especially if he doesn't notice it. DauT is coming forward with the archers, and as I said, this opening is pretty big here in the middle. Left side, we also have Slam trying to collect the Jaguars for a push here. And, well, looks like here comes the fight versus the Jaguars. DauT should be able to fend off this assault. Although, don't tell me he's gonna lose a veil to this. Okay, he's not going to lose any. But, oh, DauT is looking for the weakened villager and he's gonna get it. Oh my goodness, DauT. That was calculated. The villager took just enough damage from the Jaguars so that the scout could finish it off before the scout gets killed. Meanwhile, however, we do have stone walls coming up on the left side and the right side by Gamer Legion, but the middle is wide open and Slam's berries are off. This is going to set him back a little bit in Castle Age timing, and that could hurt his boom. So I kind of feel like this opening here from Miguel and DauT are doing damage here to Gamer Legion. Not an awful lot, but it still helps carving out a sort of a small lead here for Heresy. Archers are being chased down by DauT's ones though. Heresy didn't really bother rolling at all so far, as we will have a couple more archers coming in here for DauT. Looks like this force is going to get cleaned up in a matter of moments. And, well, looks like everybody is investing quite a bit into army. For GL, that investment was more about just making sure that they can get the walls up in time. And Slam is now working towards walling this. This is going to be a nightmare to wall, though. I kind of feel like walling off this one over here using these forests would have been slightly easier, but this is not an easy wall off in the middle. And that means that Slam is going to have to wall an awful lot. Oh, the chasing army gets trapped, or at least slowed down, because Slam was making houses here, and the DauT's archers that were chasing just got bumped into the houses, and the only other passage was blocked by a deer. So, as things stand, it looks like we have scouts and archers here, even bloodlines being tagged into by Miguel. Looks like we have a really aggressive feudal age here, much more aggressive than previously. Miguel having market usage into Castle Age here for him. No walls up for him on the left side. Right side, DauT is going to have a layer of palisades just to be sure no one sneaks into their base. As DauT and Slam will have to invest a lot of stone into these walls. And with bloodlines and maybe even +1 defense coming in for Miguel, I'm not so sure that these walls can be closed in time for DauT and Slam. They're waiting for that +1 defense to come in for Miguel's scouts. Archers on the way, also grabbing +1 defense. And Vietnamese archers slightly stronger over here. A couple of skirms being mixed in. Nice micro with the scouts to try and take down the skirm. And I think this is just enough for GL to hold. Wasn't too much, wasn't too few. Just enough to hold this one over here. Partially thanks to the hill, as Slam and DauT are about to close those walls. Castle Age coming in for everybody. Although Heresy is up to Castle Age a little faster. Now we have a couple of scouts here with bloodlines and +1 defense. They just need one small tile open, and then scouts or even knights could flood in, and all this booming idea for Gamer Legion could be gone. Uh-oh, this is gonna remain open. This very well will remain open. A villager will go down here from Slam, and this is not even a small hole that could be plugged in fast. This is gonna be a pretty big hole. So Slam is gonna have to wall himself off now over here. But this is going to already hurt GL's strategy, because one thing that GL did, not just GLA but GLB as well, both teams seem to have very similar strategies, is trade early. Because that makes sure that you have a pretty decent gold income even if you lose access to these hills over here. And speaking of losing access to the hills, Miguel runs to the top of the hill, and he's gonna get slaughtered by the Jaguars. So there goes another villager kill, courtesy of the Jaguars. Light cav upgrade even for Miguel, as they will just try to raid now, and this will force DauT and Slam to invest into a lot of defensive structures. As I said, it will delay their trade that they would have probably wanted to do. So, we're gonna have 3 PCs coming in for Miguel, and oh, that's going to be villagers dead. Not a lot of spearmen here for DauT, but even if he has spears, light cav are a little bit tougher to kill. And for Slam, he doesn't have walls up over here, so the crossbows will just march to the back of his base. Second TC being added right now by DauT. DauT actually has some beautiful quick walls here, so he's able to contain this. But the thing is that behind this one, Miguel and DauT will also be booming. So it's going to be an untouched boom versus a boom where you have to invest a lot into your army to defend, and more importantly, you always have to focus on, okay, am I walled here? I need to make quick walls. There is going to be some efficiency decrease for Miguel, or for the Gamer Legion boys. And as things stand, this is going to remain open for a long time. Now Knights trying to bash their way into the base of Slam. The villager counts are dead even right now. 3 TCs for both GL members. The only player that's only on 2 TCs is DauT. On the other hand, as I said, GL is forced to defend here. They will suffer from quite a bit of an inefficiency here when it comes to the farming eco, potentially losing control over certain resources. And they can't go for the trade that they probably wanted to with Spanish. Or at least, based on what we have seen from them in previous games on this map, and based on what we have seen from Gamer Legion A on this map. Now, here comes some more light cav. With crossbow support, they could easily intercept this group of units over here. And I just love how there is always at least one unit here that's just kept here to keep this open. And you see that in the moment that Miguel realizes that his opponents are trying to revolt, that he's just gonna fall back and try to keep that open as much as possible. Now they will run past the TC here of Slam. There is ballistics on those crossbows as well. I think this is already doing a lot of damage here to Slam. The ecos are still dead even, and this might be the moment to bring in the walling villagers. But anyways, with the crossbows arriving here from DauT, plus a couple of knights here, and Slam losing control over that gold mine. His other gold mine is over here, by the way. Slam doesn't have gold income right now. 30 crossbows for DauT, as opposed to 28. There is a fight here in the middle going on, as DauT just wants to TC that gold mine in the middle. I think that TC does go up, so 1 or 2 villagers might die, but the TC is going up over here. Indeed, that will be the case. But that still doesn't change the fact that there is an opening here. Slam now dives in with the knights. He does have +2 defense, and there isn't really a huge amount of crossbows here, so looks like Slam will be able to clean this one up. And honestly, at the end of the day, the villager count is still dead even between the 2 teams. So it's not like DauT and Slam are that much behind. In fact, they could be ahead in half a minute. Now, some more knights are coming in, and as I said, inefficiency is a problem for DauT and Slam. But the bigger problem is lack of gold. Because right now, Miguel and DauT sort of control these hills by superior army numbers. And as I said, the way that Gamer Legion was able to just breach through the gap that they have in gold income is trade early. Because that gives them gold income to just boom up, get some army out for defense, and then contest these hills. But with basically DauT cut off from Slam, it's impossible to trade right now for Gamer Legion, so they will struggle for gold very shortly. DauT is mining stone. I feel like DauT will probably try to get a castle up here. That would help, and here's the moment where he wants to push this one. Going for a gate, although I think that Miguel and DauT will see this, and are they gonna be able to stop this? Here are the villagers, it's 5 vills being sent, but oh no, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen over there. Once again, it remains open. Villager count is still even, but look at how DauT's economy looks like. So many idols, so much inefficiency. And as I said, clock is ticking for Gamer Legion, and Miguel and Dogal know that. They are stonewalling the sides now. The middle is still open for GL. Ballistics just now coming in for DauT, but every single crossbowman he loses is harder to replenish for him than it is to replenish for Dogal, because Dogal can always go for the gold mines over here. He didn't do so just yet, but they have the ability to go for that. Looks like the Knights are still sort of rampaging the Wood of DauT, although they seem to have called down. They're not really doing much. Everybody's selling resources for gold. You see, wood price already bottomed out, and now DauT gets the walls up. Maybe Heresy... Or is he? Wait a second, the villagers can't get there, and they're starting to build the stone walls, not the gate. It's still open. It's still open, man. This is the third time they try to get those walls up. The Knights have +1/+2 versus +0/+2, and Imperial Age is on the way for Dogao. 21 crossbows versus merely 12. Oh my goodness, I think Heresy is now getting away with this one, because DauT is losing farmers over here, lumberjacks over there. Slam is selling a huge amount of stone here for gold, just trying to buy himself some time, get some more cavalry in, but they've already been set back really heavily, and now Thumbring is coming in for Dogao. When he gets to Imperial Age, he's mining stone. Do you know what what Dogao should do now? Make a castle here. That castle would be extremely aggressive, but he's gonna have the Imperial Age advantage. He could pop out a couple of Genoese crossbows that would just slaughter Slam's cavalry, and he could immediately go for Trebs here. Miguel is locking the left side, so there is no chance for Slam to get out there. Right side is still an option, because, okay, Dogao looks like he will castle this hill here. Just go for the gold. He's playing safe, not really super aggressive here. As, well, the hole remains open, and in the moment Arbalest kicks in for Dogao, I don't see Gamer Legion ever rolling this. So, castle coming up here for Dogao. They will try to breach Miguel or DauT's eco here from the right side as well. And that's by far the best Imperial Age time among any player. Slam and DauT are still pretty much in this game with the eco. In fact, they have a slight eco lead. But DauT is forced to take into Elite Skirm. Luckily for him, he's got the Imperial Skirm available as well, if needed. Arbalest and Bracer coming in now. Just look at the trickle of crossbows all the way through the map. Elite Skirms will help here, but DauT doesn't have the +2 defense, DauT doesn't have Thumbring, and I think the biggest thing is the range. The Arbalests with Bracer will just outrange the Skirms, and there is cavalry support as well. That's the other thing, that the cavalry can just focus down the skirmishers. DauT is sending villagers here to try and somehow finish that wall, but that's just not gonna happen, and the second player to Imperial will be Miguel. DauT and Slam call it. Miguel and Dogao take 2 in a row against Gamer Legion B over here. And GLB looked much stronger, to be honest, in some of the previous sets they played. They have the chemistry here, but they weren't as dominant as they were in previous sets. In fact, I think in the set they played before, they played against White Wolf Palace first, but the way that they defeated Say My Name and Rolls Royce, pretty clinical. It really felt like DauT and Slam could be a team that could contest the title even. Right now, it's a tough one. So, we'll have Spanish and Vietnamese gone for DauT and Slam. Khmer Italians, I think Miguel and Dogao took a big gamble here. We have to add this over here, that if they just bump into walls here, then this push wouldn't have worked. DauT and Slam just outboomed them, and easy victory for DauT and Slam there. But the hole was big enough, and it was not finished in time, so Miguel and Dogao could just break in, and from that point on, keep this hole open, pressure the economy of the opponent, and just get away with this game, because their own eco was completely untouched. So, Miguel and Dogao now in control of this series, and they are one rock slide game away from getting into the semi-finals over here. This is the Miguel and Dogao that won their group, but they won only 3-2 against Song Song and Bad Boy, only won 3-2 against ACCM and Bacti, so all of the sets that they played was pretty close, wasn't always super convincing from them, But in the last two games, they have been pretty powerful, as we will now go to Rock Slide, a map where I'm not exactly sure what GL will do. Probably Portuguese is one of their picks, and then what? Maybe Kumans? Kumans Portuguese feels like an idea here, because I don't see Kumans being used on Golden Pit. So that could be the idea, and then you go Slavs or Bulgarians and Tatars on Golden Pit. So it's going to be Kumans and Portuguese most likely. Other side, it's tricky as well. I think it's going to be Aztecs, and you just go for Egos. Aztecs and something. On Golden Pit, you will probably play Berbers and I assume Ethiopians. So I think Aztecs Indians seems like the most reasonable combination here for Heresy. Let's go into game number 4 here. So welcome to Rock Slide. We will have on the north Miguel as Indians in red. Left side is going to be Aztecs for DauT in yellow. A sort of unconventional Civ pick. Not a lot of teams like to choose this, but an Eagle Flood could be very, very devastating in this one. And you see that DauT is already going for the second Eagle Scout over here. Slam is playing Tatars in blue, and we'll have DauT as Kumans in green. So, wait a second. Tatars, Kumans, what's up with this one? What are they going to use on Golden Pit? We will have villagers moving to the outside. This is what DauT wants to do here. If you pick Kumans, you probably want to go for a second TC immediately. And I like that he's placing it over here. Many teams just go out here and take a safer gold mine further away from the shallows. DauT goes all the way out here so that he could technically play 2 TC boom into straight Kipchaks. That's something I can see. Straight Kipchak would be an interesting idea. On the other hand, though, if DauT is just booming here, DauT will beat him to Castle Age and just play triple Barracks Eagles. And the danger of using Kumans here is that you are gonna have your teammate pretty much 1v2 this one until you are still in Feudal Age. So, right now, DauT is going full Eagles from double Barracks. Yes, of course he wants to go triple Barracks Eagles, and that's something that Tatars will have a tough time dealing with until they get to Cav Archer. So, I can see triple Barracks Eagles into forward Siege Workshop and Mangonel push on this base work out really well for DauT. And for Miguel, he's gonna have a couple of scouts out, can't really do much about the economy of DauT. The best thing that they could probably do is just double team Slam. Let DauT boom and just go double team on Slam. Because one thing that you could do then is just go for Indian Camels to deal with the Kipchak. And before that, of course, you double team Slam with Scouts and Eagles. The Eagles don't have any upgrades on them, so they are pretty vulnerable to Archers right now. But that's going to soon change. And the Scouts could easily intercept the Archers here as well. No one is going for a dock. Castle Age will be in first, most likely for our yellow player, DauT. Meanwhile, Spearman exchanging some shots over here. That should be won by Miguel, I believe. Anyways, Eagles are now moving in, and with the Scouts moving to the right side, they are turning back now to take a fight at Slam's base. Miguel using the market quite heavily over here, about to click up to Castle Age. Same is the case for DauT. Archers are in here, so at this point you don't want to lose your Eagle numbers. Just keep massing them, go for a third Barracks. DauT made a tower, so he can't sell his stone, but he's gonna go triple Barracks Eagles here. That's without doubt. So DauT going for 2 TC boom over here, but it looks like it's not a full boom. You see that he's idling one of his TCs. And this is actually very reminiscent of what we have seen from Viles in King of the Desert. Basically not a full boom. He's going to have an eco lead, but he's not going to delay his Castle Age time that much. So he was intentionally idling one of his TCs so that he could get up to Castle Age a little faster. But it's also not going to be straight Kipchak either, because he's just now reaching the stone in that case. So, There is going to be triple barracks now for GL.DauT. And double stables right now for Miguel. He's also grabbing bloodlines. And he has got scale barding. He could jump those archers once he reaches castle age. Because guess what? He would have one extra pierce armor over here. By the way, for anyone that's interested in the Spearman War, it's actually DauT Spearman that actually won the fight. So DauT is going to have a slightly better eco here. And he's going double stable knights. That's probably the best choice here. You need someone against those eagles. But those eagle numbers are pretty scary, and DauT is still a minute away from Castle Age. Eagle Warrior coming in immediately. They already have +1 attack and +1 defense. And with Chainmail, Eagle Warrior, they could easily get the push in on the gold mine of Slam. 2 TCs being added by Miguel. I think what Miguel needs to do is just push DauT with camos. Because then DauT needs to defend with his own camos. And that just leaves GL.TheViper with a chance to push Slam. Forward Siege Workshop here for GL.TheViper, sneakily in the left side so it's not getting spotted. And as things stand, GL.TheViper just waiting for one big push over here. Waiting for a critical mass of eagles to overrun the crossbows. It looks like the camos are actually heading to the left side. So 2 camos moving forward from Miguel towards DauT's base to see what he's up to. DauT going for knights. Camel and eagle versus knight and crossbow. I kind of feel like knight and crossbow is clearly superior here. Because crossbows perform well against camels, knights just clap the eagles. Whereas on the other side, the camels do defeat the knights, but they are just so bad against the archers. Still though, DauT, as I said, will have to defend here, and those camels will have building attack bonus as well. So this can snowball out of control pretty fast if the camo numbers grow up. And you see, DauT is going to have to potentially repair this one, and maybe even fight this. Forward Siege Workshop is up, 1 man gun is in. I think we're just waiting for the climax, as Slam is switching into Cav Archers though. And it's something that needs to be considered. That you can go for Cav Archers here, and Eagles will struggle much more against Cav Archers than they will against Foot Archers, and it looks like this Forward Voyager will get spotted, so I think now Slam knows that there is some sort of forward. Tatar is also with the free thumb ring already. That helps quite a bit when it comes to damage output, but they don't have Husbandry, they don't have Bloodlines, and you see DauT is gonna get heavily pushed here by camos. He's sending all his knights to the left, so this is a bit of a gamble that Gamer Legion is taking over here. As one stable from DauT here could very well fall. He's spending quite a lot of wood on repairs, and also some villager time as well. So far, no one really trying to take these fights, but the longer this goes, the better it is for DauT and Slam, because Slam just wants to get to good Cav Archer numbers. That's it. So, first stable goes down here for DauT. And this is what I was referring to. DauT could lose his production. Doesn't seem like it's much, but it's never good to lose that many stuff. And since we have free TCs for Miguel, he's slowly catching up to DauT in terms of villager count. So I feel like DauT and Slam need something different here. They need to potentially pick off a couple of villagers with the Cav Archers, because otherwise I feel like Miguel and GL will just slow this game down to a point where DauT is going to lose another stable. That's annoying for him. It's not going to cause an enormous amount of damage. Looks like the camos changed their mind. But those stables being lost for DauT will definitely hurt his production. DauT does have a couple of knights here, but it's 34 eagles. And while knights beat eagles, not when the numbers advantage is this big, although I feel like GL has mispositioned his army here, because he allows the crossbows to jump in. This is the fight that Heresy now has to take. GL is coming in with the eagles. The eagles have +1, +2, but there is 34 of them coming in. Some more Cav Archers reinforcing from Slam. But as I said, Cav Archer numbers growing is definitely a bad sign for Heresy here, because those will be able to outmicro the eagles much easier, but the Cav Archers don't really have great upgrades on them. No bloodlines, no husbandry, and the eagle numbers are just brutal here. Behind this one, DauT lost another stable, so his knight production isn't impressive, and this could allow the camos and the eagles to overrun the Cav Archers. And the camos would perform okay against the CA as well. So once the crossbows are gone, the camos will be even more useful here for Heresy, because they could take down those Cav Archers pretty easily. Nice choke point there found by Slam. The Mangonels here are still chilling, and in the end it looks like it's a pretty even fight, so we will progress deeper into the game for a longer and longer game. So we'll have GL.DauT come in with the Eagles. He does have triple barracks right now. For Slam, that's triple range Cav Archers, and the Cav Archer numbers are growing pretty steadily, but here comes the reinforcing wave of Camos, free Pierce Armor, and more importantly, bonus damage against those Cav Archers. Not sure if Miguel has Husbandry yet, but if he does, then Slam has no other option but retreat. Miguel will have to deal with this aggression inside his base though. It's mostly Knights, so his Camels should be all fine fighting this, but Miguel is going to take a bit of a beating over here from those Knights. Eco's still dead even, and Slam is getting forced back quite rapidly, although I think Miguel needs to wait until the Eagles catch up, because now the Camos are being picked apart by the Cav Archers. Still, this should allow GL.DauT to push up with the Mangonels, and if this gold mine is gone for Slam, suddenly the trickle of Cav Archers will disappear. No Cav Archers means that Slam will be overrun by Eagles. GL.DauT's Eagle numbers aren't really impressive right now over here, but as I said, those two Mangonels could suddenly cause serious problems for Slam. And behind this one, I think Miguel has enough to eventually clean this up. Eagles on the way, as the Mangonels are pushing the ranges, which I think is a bad decision at this point. You probably want to push the gold mine or the tower itself, especially because that range is being repaired, and that's not something that GL.DauT is noticing. And now the Knights are coming in. The Knights are coming in, and this could be a massive disaster for Heresy, because the Camels are now fighting the CA, just got picked off, and now the Knights of GL.DauT are moving in, trying to snipe the Mangonels. I think the Mangonels are down. That was beautiful from Gamer Legion. They distracted the Camels and sent in the Knights to destroy the Mangonels. Looking at the army numbers, that's now a scary amount of Cav Archers for Slam. And this is the big enough group that Eagles will struggle against it now, because now these CA have Bloodlines, Husbandry, and they have the critical mass to just keep outrunning the Eagles. From this point on, the Eagles will struggle really badly, and overall, the Aztecs will struggle really badly here. So when you play Aztecs on this map, you gotta play really aggressive, otherwise you are in serious trouble. As we will have the second and third, even fourth stable on the left side coming in from Miguel. In Imperial, if we get there, I can see GL.DauT just slinging Miguel into full Camos, but I just don't see them surviving until then. It's 41 Cav Archers on a map that's wide open for raiding, and we're looking into 14 Eagles and 11 Camels, as opposed to, look at this, 64 army, 41 CA, and 21 Knights over here. So, Cav Archers coming in here from Slam, and as I said, they will just be able to annihilate the Eagles if needed, but I don't even think it's needed, honestly. They can just push off the villagers from the gold mine, and boy oh boy, I mean, this is a decent surround, but I just don't know if this is enough. Truth being told, Slam doesn't really have a lot of places to run to, so you still gotta be careful, but I just don't think the numbers are there for Heresy to fight this. 29 army versus 70. Slam was able to withstand the first pressure of the Eagles, and then he was just able to mass his Cav Archers. And once you have this big mass of Cav Archers, Eagles suddenly start being completely dysfunctional, and now GL.DauT is coming in with the raids. Looks like we are in here for an equalizer. Gamer Legion B strikes back on their home map, and this brings us to a fifth game in this set as well. The Cumans worked nicely here for GL.DauT, but it was more about the Tatars of Slam. The fact that he could get his Cav Archer numbers this high and just contain the ego push until then was very nice. So if you play Aztecs here, you gotta have a very good castle age, flood the map with eagles and destroy the opponent before they can actually get their numbers up. And it was obvious that the only way that you are gonna beat Aztecs here with Tatars is if you can get to Cav Archers, and Slam was able to do that. So Indians not really working out here alongside Aztecs for Heresy, and looks like we will have to decide this one as well in a fifth game. That's going to be on the home map of Heresy, though, Golden Pit. The winner goes into the semifinals. The loser is out. Remaining civs are Berbers, Ethiopians, Burgundians. This has to be Berbers and Ethiopians versus probably Bulgarians, Portuguese. I actually think I like Berbers and Ethiopians here a lot more. So let's jump straight into the next game, the final game of the quarterfinals, the final game of the set that will decide if Miguel and Dogao or DauT and Slam will go into the semifinals. And keep in mind, Miguel and Dogao so far have played 2 sets in this tournament in the group stage, won both of them in a 3-2 scoreline. So we will see if the tendency continues here. We will have Miguel and Dogao on the left side as Berbers in red and Ethiopians in yellow. Right side, Bulgarians for DauT in green and Portuguese for Slam in blue. No surprise whatsoever. Let's see what the plan is here for Miguel. He's going to start rolling quite heavily here. His gold mines are somewhat exposed. We'll have a couple of scouts from the scouts players over here just to see if they can do some damage. Gamer Legion, or at least Slam, seems to have a pretty bad map here. Very open front. Pretty open front as well for Dogao, but not as bad as Slam's one is. For DauT, he's got a fairly well defendable base, though with relatively safe gold mine as well. So I guess the maps are relatively even, maybe slightly favoring Heresy here. So Slam coming in here with 1 scout. He just wants to see what Miguel has in his base, because knowing where the gold mines berries are is actually really valuable, because this is what will allow you to tell where to push in Castle Age. Nice trap over there from Miguel, not letting that scout escape though. That should allow that scout to be picked off very easily, leaving Slam without a whole lot of vision. Meanwhile, scouts from DauT are moving in towards the base of Dogao. Dogao is trying to chase with Spearman. Spearman that will turn into Pikeman immediately upon hitting Castle Age, one of the nice things about Ethiopians. And it looks like DauT is investing into a lot of scouts here. He's hoping that Slam's archers arrive just in time to keep those walls open and pick off the Spearman. We have seen the walls being kept open, being a thing in the Hidden Treasures game. Now it's Gamer Legion that will try to keep these open until the reinforcements arrive, but I just don't see that one happening. There's going to be a house and a palisade wall. DauT will have a couple of scouts inside here, but these shouldn't really do that much. I don't think there's any weak villager that could be picked off, so this should be a fairly easy defense. For Dogao, DauT is thinking about jumping those villagers. That's the best thing he can do. Scouts from Miguel will actually avoid the archers of Slam over here. The walls are up, and there is definitely a chance for some second layer walls here and here for Dogao, so I don't think that the GL players will be able to get inside. Looking at the resources, the first to Castle Age will probably be Dogao. He played 1 range as opposed to 2 ranges, so that's why he has more resources to go up to Castle Age with. And there is backup wood lines over here for Dogao, so he doesn't have to worry about this push range on the way for Dogao. And you see that he was trying to skip fletching most likely as well, but now he realized that, okay, he's getting pushed, so might as well grab fletching just to be sure. But yeah, it's very unlikely that GL will be able to break into their base. And DauT is going really heavy on scouts here, actually. Has gotten +1/+1. And he is pumping out scouts like there is no tomorrow. But this is risky. This is very risky here. If they don't get into the base of Dogao, then they are in trouble, because they will be set back very heavily in Castle Age timing. And the Berbers will just overrun you with knights. Slam actually selling his stone to go up over here. Massive market usage, which actually makes him the first player to click up just a couple of seconds faster than Miguel and Dogao. So, Miguel coming in here with the Berbers, as we're gonna have, for now, one stable for him, but he's going to make two. Best spots would probably be over here. Yeah, indeed, that's going to be the spot for the first stable, and adjacent to it will be the second. Bloodline's on the way as well. GL.DauT is getting closer to cooking up to Castle Age as well, and he has gotten some good upgrades, so as long as he's not going to die to the Knights, he's gonna be fine, because he should have a pretty easy time getting into Castle Age. He's safe, he's fully evolved, and that means that he's gonna have Castle Age without problems, and he's gonna have +1/+1. Should also be able to afford +2 defense, and maybe even iron casting immediately with Bulgarians. Dogao is marching for a lot of archers though, and there is definitely weak spots on GL.DauT's walls, especially this area is kind of exposed. Archers from Slam also marching forward. Slam and Dogao will hit Castle Age approximately at the same time, but I think Dogao's base is more defendable than GL.DauT's one. You see, GL.DauT's base here is very exposed, pretty long wall to make if you want to second layer this, whereas for Dogao, as he's probably going to lose a villager over here, and yeah, Dogao can just add layers in here to prevent those from breaking in. The gate is the weak spot for GL.DauT's wall, and he knows that. And Dogao going in here with the crossbowman and Vodkin arrow plus the free pikeman upgrade for Ethiopians. This is where GL.DauT's eco could be in serious trouble. Tries to house wall this one to prevent the crossbows from breaking through. It's still only archers, so they won't be able to pick those villagers off that easily. GL.DauT will save at least the back of his economy, but that's going to cost him 3 villagers, 4 villagers in here. Whereas on the other side, the crossbows are baking into Dogao's base. Dogao's gonna have house walls coming in almost everywhere. There's still an opening here on the right side, but he should be able to hold that. Looks like the crossbows are still hunting for a couple of villagers here. From GL.DauT, GL.DauT is gonna be up to Castle Age, and once he gets +2 defense and gets some knights out, he might be able to push this one back, but a lot of villagers went down here for GL.DauT. And his food eco is also sort of in ruins. I kind of feel like Slam needs to do damage here to Dogao, like actually kill villagers, otherwise this isn't gonna work. And I feel like GL's army here could very well be trapped, because knights are now coming from Miguel. I don't know why Dogao deleted those walls. I think they wanted to get the surround here from this direction, but then there was some miscommunication. It would have been better if these walls stayed that way and the knights just come in and fight it over here. That's actually an okay fight here for Slam, but an okay fight is not something that's enough, to be honest. So, if you look at the eco numbers, 91 versus 82, GL.DauT in the end lost 10 villagers, and he's off from gold as well. His backup gold mine is on the right side over here, something that he is not mining right now, so he can't get more knights in. Slam will have to come in and reinforce, but this is a dream for Heresy, because now Miguel can just flood knights, as GL.DauT was set back so heavily. It's 10 knights versus 6. GL.DauT has +2 defense and +1 attack, so the upgrades are pretty nice. Ballistics is in for Slam, not something that Dogao has right now. He's just not grabbing ballistics. But the first to establish a foothold in the middle will be Miguel, which will just further allow him to just flood knights here with the Berbers. So having that steady and consistent gold income, not having to worry about that, is going to help immensely. Because the biggest problem with the Berber Knight Flood is that if you don't secure a forward position in time, you suddenly run out of gold, and you can't just flood more knights. Tumbling on the way for Dogao. He doesn't have a single armor upgrade. Slam does have +1 defense, as both GL members are playing 1 TC, 4 ranges for Slam here though. So he's at 34 crossbows, Dogao is only at 23, but Dogao's got faster firing Ethiopian crossbows, and he's got Tumbling. So I still feel like the army for Heresy is a little bit more convincing. Plus you also have to consider that there is double the knights for Miguel. Upgrades are identical for Miguel and Dogao here. Picking off 2 knights like that is also very good value for Heresy. Those knights are pretty expensive for GL.DauT. Losing 2 more villagers, 3 more, 4 more, oh my goodness. GL.DauT is getting absolutely torn to shreds here. And this might just be a little too much to come back from Gamer Legion now. Because now DauT is off from gold once again, and I feel like this could snowball out of control really fast. Heresy so far has won all their series free too. It could happen again. It could happen again because DauT cannot replenish his knights here, so at this point, just denying that gold mine is enough for Miguel and Dogao. They will take some losses here on their archers, and they will take some damage on their knights, but now it's 23 knights versus only 8, and even though Slam's crossbow numbers are better, I just feel like there's too many knights to fight against. And remember that GL is on a timer, because they have to get to the middle for the gold. And that's not something that's happening right now. No defense upgrade for Dogao though, that's something that helps quite a bit for Slam here. I just don't think that they have the knight numbers to move out. And if they don't move out, they will just be forever cornered within their base, and they won't be able to, you know, get the gold in the middle, and they will just run out of gold at this pace. All the cavalry from DauT is going down. Slam is losing most of his crossbows, and I kind of feel like a GG could be imminent here for Gamer Legion B. DauT and Slam will exit the tournament with a quarterfinal finish over here, as Miguel and Dogao are winning their group convincingly. And after that first disastrous game for Miguel, he really redeemed himself, because the upcoming games were much better from him. And with DauT and Slam typing the GG, Heresy ends up winning this set over here. Even though they lost Arabia, they were able to come back on Hidden Treasures. Miguel and Dogao getting into the semi-finals over here. They once again show that they're a really strong duo. Whereas for DauT and Slam, well, they had a really good run in this tournament. Things could have gone differently. They lost 3-2 to White Wolf Palace in the group stage, then defeated Say My Name and Rolls Royce in the deciders. They got the Brazilians now, and Miguel and Dogao show why they're still one of the strongest team in 2v2 settings. Brazil once again in the semi-finals over here. Congrats to both teams, because really both of them have shown a lot of amazing things in this one. It seemed like Heresy had a slightly better execution today, but GL had a lot of interesting game plan that they came up with. I think that for this last game, the civilizations were way better for Miguel and Dogao, so that's something that's also worth considering, that maybe the draft was slightly better for the Brazilians, or at least it turned out that way. In the end, Berbers and Ethiopians, both very strong civilizations over here. Portuguese and Bulgarians mean that you will be at a disadvantage civilization-wise, but nonetheless, it is Miguel and Dogao getting into the semi-finals tomorrow. Congratulations to them. They are going to represent their continent, South America, in the semi-finals.